All glory to the name of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh O Elohim. Glorified be the Rakakadash, and glorified be Mashiach Yahweh Shai, our Redeemer, our King, who's on his way. All right, so this is part two of verses concerning the condemnation of false prophets. You know, you understand that you've been called to this truth. You have to uphold a certain standard. So let's go to Matthew, chapter 7, and let's go to verse 15. A tree and its fruit. Beware of the false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly are ravenous wolves. You will know them by their fruits. Are grapes gathered from thorns or figs from thistles? In the same way, every good tree bears good fruit, but the bad tree bears bad fruit. A good tree cannot bear bad fruit, nor can a bad tree bear good fruit. Every tree that does not bear good fruit is cut off and thrown into the fire. Thus you will know them by their fruits. You can fool man, but you can't fool the Most High. Now, concerning self-deception, not everyone who says to me, Adonai, Adonai, will enter the kingdom of the heaven, but only the one who does the will of my Father in heaven. On that day many will say to me, Adonai, Adonai, did we not prophesy in your name, and cast out demons in your name, and do many deeds of powers in your name? Then I will declare to them, I never knew you. Go away from me, you evildoers. See, man, there's going to be a lot of rebuking, man. Okay, here it goes. Let's finish it with hears and doers. Verse 24. Everyone then who hears the word of mine and acts on them will like a wise man who built his house on the rocks. The rain fell, and the flood came, and the wind blew and beat on the house, but it did not fall, because it been founded on rock. And everyone who hears these words of mine, does not act on them will be like a foolish man who built his house on straw, and the rain fell, and the floods came, and then the wind blew and beat against that house, and it fell, and great was its fall be. Now when Yahushua had finished saying these things, the crowd was astonished at his teaching, for he taught them as one having authority and not as the scribes. Yeah, because he has authority, because he's a king. Alright, so let's stay with Matthew, and let's proceed with chapter 23. Yahweh Shai denounces the scribes and pharaohs. This is a good one. It's long. Yahweh Shai denounces the scribes and the Pharisees. Then Yahweh Shai said to the crowd and to his disciples, and the scribes and the Pharisees said and the Sadducees said, therefore do whatever teach you and follow it, but do not do as they do. Yeah, that means they can do what they want, but do not do what they do, for they do not practice what they teach. They tie up burdens hard to bear and lay on the shoulders of others, but then themselves are unwilling to lift a finger to move them. They do all the deeds to be seen by others, pompous as fools, for it makes their phylacteries broad and their fringes long. They love to the place of honor they love to go to the place of honor and banquets, and have the best seats in the synagogue, and all be greeted with respect in the masses and the places, and to have people call them rabbi, but you are not to be called rabbi, for you have one teacher, and you are all students, and call no one your father on earth, for you have only one Father, Yahweh O Elohim, the one in heaven. Nor shall you be called instructors, for you have one instructor, Adonai Mashiach Yahweh Shai. The greatest amongst you will be your servant. All who exalt themselves will be humbled, and all who humble themselves will be exalted. But woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you keep the people out of the kingdom of heaven, for you do not go in yourselves. And when others are going in, you stop them. Woe to you, hypocrites and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you cross sea and land to make a single convert, and you make the new covenant twice. Yeah, like certain Israelite groups flying in lavish airplanes. As you make the new covenant twice as much a child of hell as yourself. Woe to you, blind guides, who say, whoever swears by the sanctuary is bound by nothing, but whoever swears by the gold of the sanctuary is bound by the oath. You blind fools, for which is greater, the gold or the sanctuary that has made the gold sacred? You say, whoever swears by the altar is bound by nothing, but whoever swears by the gift that is on an altar is bound by oath. How blind are you? For which is greater, the gift or the altar that makes the gift sanctified? So whoever swears by this, body swears by it, and whoever by everything on it, and whoever swears by the sanctuary swears by it, and by the one who tells it. And whoever swears by it swears by the throne of the Most High, by the one who is seated upon it. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you tithe men and comings and have neglected, matters of the law, just in mercy and faith. And it is this you that have practiced without neglecting the others. You blind idiot, you blind deceivers. I wanted to say idiots, but that doesn't say that. You strain out a gnat, but swallow a camel. Yeah, man. Basically, unbalanced justice, briberies, selling out. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you clean the inside of the cup and of the plate, but inside they are full of greed and self-indulgence. You blind Pharisees, clean the inside of the cup so that the outside may also be defiled. Woe to defilement, yeah, basically from the inside you're burnt out, but from the outside you look like a good person. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you are like whitewashed tombs, which on the outlook look beautiful, but inside they are full of bones and dead and all the filth. So you also on the outside look righteous to others. Yeah, nice clothes, nice money, speaking all these lavish words. But inside you're full of hypocrisy and lawlessness. Hypocrites, man. The hypocrisy of the Pharisees, man. Or the fake prophets. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites. For you build the tomb of the prophets and decorate the graves of the righteous. And you say, if we had lived in the days of our ancestors, we would not have taken part with them in shedding the blood of the prophets. Thus you testify against yourselves, it said. And you are descendants of those who murdered the prophets. Fill up, Israel has been killing the prophets. Fill them up, the measure of your ancestors. You shake your blood of vipers. You brought of vipers. How can you escape being sentenced to hell? Therefore I send you prophets, sages, scribes, some of whom you will kill and crucify, and some you will flog in your synagogues and pursue from town to town, so that upon you may come all the righteous blood shed on the earth, from the blood of the righteous Abel to the blood of Zechariah, son of Barachiah, whom you murdered between the sanctuary and the altar. Truly I tell you, all this will come upon this generation. Our people love to have it so. And we'll finish it up with the lamentation over Jerusalem. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, the city that kills the prophets and stones those who are sent to it. Yeah, 2/3 of our people love to have it that way. They love wickedness. How often have I desired to gather your children together as a hen gathers her brood under her wings, and you were not willing. See, your house is left to you desolate. For I tell you, you will not see me again until you say, blessed is he, the one who comes in the name of Yahweh Elohim. Ooh, man, that was some hard, man. Joke, man. So now, we're gonna go to Saint Luke. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna take it from chapter the tree and its fruits. No good tree bears bad fruit, nor again does a bad tree bear good fruit. For each tree is known by its own fruit. Figs are not gathered from thorns, nor are grapes picked from the bramble bush. The good person out of the good treasures of the heart produces good, and the evil person out of the evil treasures evil. For it is out of the abundance of the heart that the mouth speaks. Yeah, man, basically, whatever you say, man, it's because that's how you feel, man. You know what I mean? It's straight wretchedness, man. Let's proceed. Let's go to finish this edition of it with Acts. I'm going to chapter 20, and this is verse 28. Okay. You know what? Let's verse 25. No, 24. But I do not count my life of any value to myself, only I may finish my course in the ministry that I received from Yahweh Shai Mashiach, to testify the good news of Yahweh Elohim's grace. And now I know that none of you among whom I have gone up proclaiming the kingdom will ever see my face again. Therefore I declare to you this day that I am not responsible for the blood of any of you, for I did not shrink from declaring to you the whole purpose of Yahweh Elohim. So, you proclaim it, whoever took it, Keep watch over yourselves and over all the flock of which the Holy Spirit, the Ruach HaKodesh, has made you overseers to shepherd the church of Yahweh Elohim that he obtained with the blood of his own son, Adonai Mashiach, Yahweh Shai. I know that after I have gone, savage wolves will come in among you, not sparing the flocks. Some even from your own group will come, distorting the truth in order to entice the disciples to follow them. Therefore, be alert, remembering that for 3 years I did not cease night or day to warn everyone with tears. And now I command you to Yahweh Elohim, and I command you to Yahweh Elohim and to the message of His grace, message that is able to build you up and give you the inheritance amongst all who are sanctified. I coveted no one's silver or gold or clothing. You know for yourself that I worked with my own hands to support myself and my companions. In all this I have given you an example that by such works we must support the weak, the widowless, the orphan, remembering the words of Mashiach Yahushai, for He Himself said, "It is not blessed for me give that to receive." Yeah, man, basically do it out of free will. When he had finished speaking, he knelt down with them all and prayed. There were much weeping among them all. They embraced Paul and kissed him, grieving especially because of what he had said, that he will not see them again. Then he brought him to the ship. Then they brought him to the ship. Okay, there you go, man. I hope this is edifying. That was part 2. Most High be waiting providing before the Shabbat ends. At 4:44, here in Southern California time, we'll do the conclusion, part